Greetings, everyone. GM, wherever you are on God's green earth. Welcome to This Week in Frax. I am your host, DeFi Dave, here with Capital K and Sam McCullough. And this time, before we get into everything Frax, we want to highlight a very special Frax partner with Notional. We have found Teddy from Notional, who are working with Frax on some really cool opportunities for FraxPBC and beyond. Teddy, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate the invite, Dave.
Yeah, of course. Before we get into it, can you explain to our viewers alike, Frax curious and beyond alike, what Notional is?
Yeah, so Notional is a fixed rate lending and borrowing protocol. So we're live on Ethereum today. We've been live since late 2021, and kind of the reason we sort of we met is we are currently we just launched our Notional v3 in beta on Arbitrum, which is the latest version of our protocol, and also like our first deployment to L2. So it's been a really exciting week, and really excited about like kind of the new stuff and new leverage strategies that we have with Notional v3. And the way we work with Frax is that we have Frax listed as a currency on Notional. You can use some of Notional's like unique leverage strategies to earn leverage returns on Frax, in addition to lending Frax at variable or fixed rates of interest. So like kind of a cool strategy we have is we are integrated with the convex Frax USDC pool. So what you can do is you can borrow Frax at a variable or a fixed rate from Notional and deposit that Frax directly into the Frax USDC convex pool and earn like a levered return on the yield on that convex pool. So like it's a way for advanced DeFi users who have some Frax to lever up on their returns, and then that kind of creates good lending rates for just passive lenders of Frax.
Oh, so it basically you offer variable lending or fixed lending, and you can allow more advanced DeFi users to basically loop up on their FraxPBC as one strategy. Are there other strategies that Frax users can use, whether it's with frxETH or something else?
Yeah, so not on Arbitrum today. So Frax is like, I think that maybe this is changing going forward, but as I'm sure Frax is primarily focused on Ethereum right now. So there's definitely like once we upgrade Notional v2 to Notional v3 on Ethereum, there's definitely going to be more opportunities for Frax holders. But currently just on Arbitrum, there isn't a lot of that to do with Frax. But I think, like my hope is that will sort of improve going forward as, I think the Frax ecosystem just starts putting more effort on L2s.
Well, really, it's the season 2 that's coming about with the short-term incentive program provided by Arbitrum. Right. So are you guys taking part in that? Did you provide an application to them?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So we put in a proposal for 500K ARB. And really like the purpose of that, like I said, we have Notional v3 in beta right now on Arbitrum. And kind of the purpose of this ARB would be to sort of bootstrap the full public launch out of beta. So it actually kind of like for us, we've been working on Notional v3 launching on Arbitrum for a long time, for almost a year. And so like this short-term incentive program like just actually kind of lined up like really nicely for us. Mm-hmm. So fingers crossed we get it. But I think it'd be a great way to sort of like kickstart Notional v3 on Arbitrum for sure.
Well, just so you know, Frax did apply for those short-term incentives. Right now, there's about $30 million worth of Frax that's been deployed on Arbitrum, and they requested 1.5 million ARB that they want to put to use to try to get TVL up to about 60 million Frax assets. So both a mixture of Frax and frxETH.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm actually like, so I saw, it's been a busy week, so I haven't been like reading all the applications on the Arbitrum forum.
Oh, I mean, there was over 100. So
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. To be honest, like, I mean, so just like as an aside, this has been a really interesting thing to like watch and partake in. And I am very curious to see how it plays out. Cause there's there's, over 100 proposals, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see like how the delegates like sift through all that, and like just in practice, like how all these decisions get made. But yeah, so like what I was going to say is that, I hadn't really taken the time to read the Frax proposal. But I'd be interested to know like how Frax, would propose to allocate those ARB incentives. And, if there's something like, if they're going to apply them to the convex pool, for example, like our leverage vault strategies could help allocate liquidity to those liquidity pools. So, I'd love to learn more. And I should really dig into it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I said this last week. It's exciting to see Frax, propose something like this, because, Arbitrum has been the DeFi chain, since the start. And I feel like there's just this snowball effect of, DeFi users, DeFi applications, and something like season 2, it's just going to like exacerbate and increase that snowball effect and just make it bigger and bigger.
Yeah. So I just had like, I'm curious, like, what's your guys's like? Because I think that this like incentive program has been kind of polarizing. Like a lot, like
it's politics. Politics is polarizing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the protocol or chain. Like when people are asking for a lot of money, like there's going to be some like pushback and friction.
Yeah. I'm curious. What do you think? Like, like what do you see your guys' sort of perspective on whether it's a good idea or like a waste of money? What do you think?
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
I have thoughts. I mean, I talked to my friend Matt this morning about it, and he was like, look, if there's not any sort of controls on the funds, there's going to be just mercenary capital coming in and trying to take as much as possible, right? He thought, and I kind of agree with this, is that projects that are native to Arbitrum, or projects that Arbitrum wants to like lock in to the protocol, they should really use the incentive program as a way to kind of like keep them there, to say like, okay, we're going to give you a grant, but we don't want you to go to Optimism for, say, I don't know, the duration of this program, which is like 6 months or 12 months or something like that. Like, come deploy here. We'll give you these really nice set of incentives, but don't go anywhere else, right? Don't go to Base, don't go to Optimism. Stay here on Arbitrum and try to bring as many users here, and don't like split people, because like, as we all know, like there is a rotation effect that happens when you deploy capital like this. People just rotate in and they rotate out, and
that's the nature of incentives.
Yeah, exactly. So like, why does Lido need 5 million ARB to increase STETH liquidity? They don't need that. They have 30% of all the staked ETH in existence. They have a ton of money that they could use to provide incentives on Arbitrum if they wanted to. And so like, it's smaller projects like Umami, which we had on last week, plus you guys as well too, that are Arbitrum native, that are working in the ecosystem to build on Arbitrum and get new users there. That's the kind of projects that you should be supporting and should get the full support and get the most ARB out of this incentive program.
So my sort of perspective on it, like I agree with a lot of that. I would also say though, like, and maybe Notional is a unique case because of like how our protocol works, but like we benefit from being in this ecosystem. Like we benefit indirectly. So like, for example, Notional is integrated with Balancer and Curve. We can sort of deploy strategies on different protocols. So if those protocols get incentives, like Notional benefits indirectly because like our yield strategies are better, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's this, and also there's just more capital coming to Arbitrum, more users. Like it's like good to be in that environment for any protocol, regardless of whether you actually get incentives yourself. And I also like think like there's always this like concern of like, oh, this is just fleeting. This is just BS. Like we're just giving money away, and of course people are going to take money if you give it to them, but that doesn't mean anything, right? And like the thing is like it's sort of like, well, while there's all this stuff money happening, like it's incentivizes people to build and invest like protocols to build and invest because that's where the action is, And so it's like
And
Yeah.
so where can people find Notional? Yeah. Before, I don't mean to cut you off, but we're nearing the 10-minute mark. So where people can find you
Okay.
and Notional to access these strategies?
Yeah, so Notional, you can find also the website notional.finance. Our V3 is on Arbitrum, so it's arbitrum.notional.finance. We're currently in a closed beta, so if you don't have a pass, you're not going to be able to access the application right now, but you can join the waitlist, and we are going to open it up to another cohort of beta testers. We're thinking in about a week or two. So, so check out the site and follow us on Twitter for more updates at Notional Finance.
You heard it here, folks. Teddy, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on chain.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
All right, that's Teddy from Notional, guys. Now, that's pretty cool. Like, I love seeing like advanced strategies, for our degens and strategists alike in the Frax ecosystem. So shout out Notional. So I always like having these partners on to like highlight them and like see what's going on. Yeah, dude, we have like so many lined up in the weeks to come. So yeah. Anyways, this week in Frax, Sam, I'll let you take the lead here.
Drama alert, guys. We have so much to dig into this week.
Yeah, what's going on?
let's talk about the easy stuff first, and that is surprisingly there have been 2 LP unlocks that have come out this week. There's been Vesta, the VEST Frax pool, and then additionally also the StakeDao pool, which is being requested by 2 separate people to be unlocked and implement a rage quit. And at this point, I had thought that Luke, who is doing the really amazing work to go back and find out exactly how much Frax shares had been paid out to these pools, so that when there was a rage quit, or if there was a rage quit, that it would actually bring back all the Frax shares that was distributed out. And so Luke had been doing some great work over the past several months.
Shout out, Luke.
Yeah, shout out. We're doing some great stuff. It's been probably 3 or 4 proposals now that he's gone back and done this back work. But I don't know. It seems that things may be changing, because in the latest one, and I'll bring this up now, is that the Unlock SD Frax 3 curve pool has seen some interesting messages come through. So I got the wrong thing here.
NBA podcast.
I know. We're back in 2 weeks. Yeah, like I don't know why we're talking about Frax when we should be talking about Damian Lillard. But anyways, so here we are. There was a message that Sam left inside of Luke's most recent proposal, and he essentially said, "You're the GOAT at going and discovering how much Frax shares need to be paid back." But Sam is opposed to this right now for the reason that because we're under CR, they're 100% CR, and because the supply keeps on ticking down at the moment, it's been harder and harder for us to tick up higher. I mean, we must be at like 93% or something still for months now, right? And so unlocking this pool, in Sam's opinion, would be detrimental to the overall health of the protocol, because it would allow for these funds to move out and potentially bring the supply down even more, which would in turn make it harder to get back to 100% collateralization. And so it's not that he doesn't agree with the pool having like a right or obligation to be open. He thinks that in like normal times, if it was like 100% CR, this would be a great thing to do, and that would be totally fine. But right now he's not for it, because he wants us to get back to 100% CR. And the Frax needs to stay into the system until that point happens.
Wow, that's like pretty explicit, declaration right there. What did Luke say under that?
Well, so Luke was like asking him, so like you're not opposed to the unlocks, it's just like the current conditions. And he's like, this pool represents 0.6% of Frax total assets. That's actually a lot at the moment, 0.5%. And so, he's talked about like moving all these pools over, but he just wanted to ask Sam's opinion. And Sam said, yeah, that's correct. At this current time, I'm against it. That doesn't mean in like 4 weeks or in 2 months I will be against it when the CR changes. And this is just his opinion, and he's not trying to get this to be vetoed. And then he said that the protocol itself no longer holds this asset. Oh yeah. So the protocol needs to keep on working with its AMOs and keep on deploying liquidity. And at some point in the future, once the collateralization ratio is back up to 100%, things will be hunky dory in these.
I mean, that seems fair.
Yeah.
Especially in these conditions. Like, what was also a governance proposal months ago to get up Frax to 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically that proposal trumps.
Ongoing still.
Yeah, it's ongoing still. And so there's some precedent, there's some backing to what Sam has to say.
Yeah. So eventually Luke came in and said, please postpone this proposal from going live. I will bring this back to the table at a later date.
The day Frax hits 100% CR, Luke is being like, all right.
I mean, but look at all his work. This is a very like
that's incredible. Oh my God.
An insane amount of information. This one is a big one. This one goes all the way back to 2021 or 2022, Jeez. Right? That's months and months of calculating. So shout out. That's a lot of work. The other one that I wanted to talk about is the Unlock Curve Vesta Frax pool on Arbitrum. So Vesta Finance is actually winding down, and the DAO has voted to essentially distribute funds. And now that it's winding down, people want to get their money back out of this pool. But with the comments that Sam made on the most recent SD Frax pool, this one might not get unlocked either.
Yeah. Is there like a limit, like a time limit for, I mean, how does the Vesta dissolution work? So do people exchange their Vesta for the treasury? And and if that's the case, like what is the limit like to do that? Do you have like a year to do that, or what's going on?
Yeah. So essentially they would swap the VSTA for cash, and that would be paid out. And then there would be a redemption smart contract that gives the ability for users to burn one. Wait, no, that's different. So I believe they would unlock all the VST in the stability pool and then halt minting and then just allow for those funds to be cashed out. So it would still work, if it's a year, I believe it's a year in the future or whenever all these things unlock, you'd be able to get your money back, but stuck until then.
Yeah. If, with these things, precedent matters. And I mean, I'm curious to know the supply of like how much Frax in circulation is in the Vesta pool.
So I looked, and right now there's 3.7 million total TVL that's locked in the pool. So that is a curve pool. So there probably is some like variance. I can look right now. So there could be some variance in that pool, but right now there is a lot, actually. 3.7 million.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
So interesting how the politics changed on a.
Yeah, because there was a lot of unlocks happening, and then Sam put a line in the sand saying no, like we need to get up to 100 CR first. That's a priority. No unlocks until after that.
Yeah. And then the last piece of governance that
is yeah.
So Revest had published this FPIIP.
Yeah.
To create a veFPIS liquid wrapper. Apparently this had come out of the Frax hackathon. And
yes, it did.
Yes, it did. And so they had developed this system. They had put it out there, and it got voted down. Notably, C2 came in and said, I believe in the first.
Oh, what did Sam say?
Well, I'll get there in a second. But
okay.
It came in. It was voted down. The Revest guys took to Telegram, entering the main chat, and
Twitter.
Started raising some issues about the current voting process, which was not in the Frax main chat, but I was watching it in Lobsters. People were just like, why didn't you like ask before you put up this proposal, right? Like, why didn't you the politics, how these things work, and you're launching a like quasi competitor. Like, why didn't you just ask to see if like it would get the votes that you need beforehand? Which is typically how like most political stuff gets done. Like if you're in Washington you don't put up a bill until you have the votes to pass it. Of course, you're going to talk in back channels, and then it just goes to vote, and it should pass because everybody's on board. So Sam actually said he was going to make some comments, and he did, and he did come make some comments. Essentially, Sam said that he expressed his apologies for misunderstanding and miscommunication around the proposal for the NFT-based lockers. And he said that, while he did request for VFX and veFPIS wrappers or wrapper lockers in his proposal idea, it was really during a lapse in an active engagement and feedback during the Frax hackathon, right? So he liked the Revest guy's original idea, and also said that the bigger issues are that Revest via VE NFTs potentially would undermine the Frax tokenomics system by allowing unlimited creation of any kind of lock or any sort of duration. And he said, like, what's the point then? Like we talked about, having a solidly like locker for Frax, but that's not what we implemented. We have a VFX, or we have a VE system, and we want to stick to that. And this Revest design essentially works around that and creates a brand new type of locking. And so that was the feedback that he gave. C2 actually came in and said that there are a few considerations to take into account before such a big change is put into place. Make this a little bit bigger. Things such as whitelist bypassing, that's the thing that Sam was talking about, and consolidating NFTs and returning to vanilla FPIS, et cetera. And things like this should be discussed and thought on a bit longer. I'm always open to discuss. Feel free to get in contact, which, C2 actually was.
He is.
Was nice about everything, right?
He is.
So lesson learned for the Revest guys, that, I just think that, like, it was probably not the best that how they came out afterwards. Voting is voting, and unfortunately it didn't go through. And it looks like if there are maybe some changes that it could pass, but they're going to have to go to the drawing board.
And I think, and I know other than the presentation that Sam made about frxETH v2, and also he did a not happy hour, a office hours and stuff. I know Sam was supposed to judge, but he just got too busy and he wasn't able to judge. So we actually had on Xerox Sammy to hop on. And so I'm not sure. I don't think Sam had the full picture of the hackathon projects. And yes, I think he understands the mistake he made here of not being as engaged. Not it's not necessarily bad that he wasn't engaged, but after the hackathon when this proposal was up, and it wasn't until it was too late and this got voted down, and then the Vivest guys made a fuss. He's like, oh wait, I should have been paying attention more. So so hopefully Sam, for the next hackathon, please judge, please, we need you. Your input is valuable, especially if the next Dora Hacks hackathon is with Frax Chain, oh boy, come on, judge. Yeah.
And there's they were coming out and attacking one person, but there are the VLCVX distribution is quite widespread.
Yeah,
there are a lot of people who can vote for VLCVX with VLCVX. So I think that their complaints didn't really fell on deaf ears, because they're
it's just really that too. This is just how the system works. This isn't the first time people have complained about Frax governance because a vote didn't pass, and it's just you
got to play.
Didn't we have this with Pitch? Pitch wanted to launch a FPIS wrapper as well too, and that one got shut down for reasons as well.
I think they did. I mean, but didn't they have a VEFXS wrapper?
Yeah, I think there were some issues. I think there was some also technical issues with how the veFPIS wrapper was done as well too. So these wrappers and lockers are very powerful instruments, and if they're not created in the right way and they don't have,
they threaten the protocol basically.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it either goes against what the original protocol design was, or it just is detrimental to the overall health of the ecosystem. So moving slowly and not breaking anything is probably the way to go here.
Move slowly and be careful.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to talk about is that MIM looks to be launching a MIM savings rate. Hopping on the bandwagon.
Another one.
Yeah.
And this week we've been getting like a ton of good press. I don't know if you've seen the crypto Twitter timeline, but our token we don't talk about token price much, but over the past few weeks, token's been performing really well. So ourselves and Maker and Curve have all been the benefit of very good token performance over the past couple of weeks. And probably the driving reason for this is that we're one of the free protocols that has large scale revenue and probably going to grow even more with the upcoming release of FXB.
Is it nice to see fundamentals triumph?
Yeah.
Move over meme points. You're fun for a while, but like sometimes the big boys have to step in the room.
Yeah. And then we also talked about the Arbitrum grant as well too. Frax has officially submitted it. The deadline has passed. We will know in probably next week. I think it's October 3rd that the announcement comes out for round 1. So there are 2 rounds. In this round, probably 25 million ARB up for grabs, and over 137 million ARB was applied for. So definitely probably we'll see a rounding down.
I had a question before about the MIM savings rate. So are they having like RWAs too? Like how does did they say like, are they having some not offshore, like off-chain entity? Like how does their savings rate work compared to Frax?
No, it's just a mention on an Arbitrum forum that they talked about.
Oh, you mean a MIM forum you're saying that they talked about?
No, it's on the Arbitrum forum.
Oh, wait, the MIM savings rates on the Arbitrum forum?
Yeah. I think it's for their Abracadabra grant that they're trying to get.
Oh, so they're did they say anything? They just said they're going to have a savings rate. So like, but they didn't say like how it would work or like the structure behind it or anything.
They said in phase 3, they're going to witness the MIM savings rate mechanism. They're going to offer incentives for the MIM saving rate, and no more information about that. Sam kind of was joking in chat that they may just be like putting into SDI.
Nice.
Yeah. So tons of good press this week. I mean, people all up and down the timeline have been talking about Frax shares. Notably, we were on Blockworks podcast where they gave a big report on Frax V3 that's coming. Essentially, if you listen to this podcast, you already know. We talk about it every week, and I hope you're all positioned.
Yeah. So another point I want to add to that is throughout Token 2049, I follow up this past week and spoken to a lot of funds, like big size funds. And I had to literally tell them the whole Frax story. They still think that we are an algo stable and period. So I had to really educate them like, no. We have 3 core products, and then we have 3 supporting products. And here's how all the revenue works. Here's how we're able to expand our supply and contract our supply. We're that dynamic. And a lot of light bulbs are like kind of coming up. And, and Dave and I got a lot of things planned for the next year on how we're going to do a lot of these live events differently. So, it's good things are coming. Good things are coming.
Also, what was it? Crypto McKenna came in and said that he's publicly buying Frax shares again.
Yeah. He was messaging me. I saw him at Token 2049, and he was messaging me before. He's been a Frax fan for a while. But
you met him? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, no, he's a friend.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, because I've actually been following Crypto McKenna since he was at 500 followers.
Oh wow.
Because he was originally like a 0x Terrence McKenna. That was he was originally a Terrence McKenna like crypto account, and I'm just like, I am just a huge McKenna scholar and enthusiast. And so I was like, oh, no fucking way. So this was like back in 2017, 2018. So I've seen his like growth and evolution. And so like whenever I meet up, we chop it up about McKenna.
Dude, we gotta bring him on the pod.
Oh yeah, we should bring him on the pod. That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Have him bring him chat.
Yeah, we should bring. Yeah, we'll bring him on. He can explain his because he's starting like a fund and all this stuff. He's gonna run. He would make a good episode, and he has a lot of opinions. So he would. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that after.
So we're recording this on Thursday. Dave, tomorrow you are going to be at the Circle event in NYC.
Oh yeah, I am. Yo, it's so funny. I completely forgot I signed up for that. And then somebody in the Frax, I was like, "Is anybody going to this?" And then somebody else, and I checked my email. I was like, "Oh shit, I actually signed up for this. Oh god, I gotta go." So yes, I'm going. So yes, I'll be going to the Circle Summit. They're having Circle leadership there. They're having the Honorable Patrick McHenry there, chair of the House Financial Services Committee. They're having this is a big name summit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be there. So
you putting on a suit, or are you gonna wear the?
I'm just gonna wear Frax merch.
You gonna wear Frax merch? Okay.
I mean, should I wear a suit?
No, I was gonna. You know what you should get is a Arizona iced tea suit.
I have yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
dude. Okay, I have a story for this. We were at a stablecoin standard event in Singapore, and it was like all legacy finance people, and you see them like it's like suit, dress suit, and then there's one white T-shirt in amongst the sea of seats, and it has like a cherry blossom on the back with a Frax logo. I took a picture of it, so I gotta post it. But it was like
fucking funny.
It was so funny to see like suit, dress suit, white T-shirt with a cherry blossom and Frax logo.
Yeah.
It was nice.
So I don't know if you guys heard about because I think I told you guys that I'm fighting in Crypto Fight Night, and I want to get a sponsorship from Arizona Iced Tea. And so me and Chris are like planning to on like either Saturday or Monday drive to the Arizona headquarters in Long Island and just like ask, go and ask, be like, hey, just show them the tattoo and be like, hey, like that's my pass. I don't know. Like I've been trying to get in contact with them. I don't know how, but I feel like being in Crypto Fight Night justifies a sponsorship, and they do sponsor people for things. So I don't know. Figure it out.
I think you can get it, Dave.
I think it's destiny. It's literally destiny.
Yeah, bro. I think you're on the graph of fuck around and find out. So I think going to that Long Island headquarter is definitely on the graph, the furthest frontier on the graph.
Yeah, I've either sat. So I saw this Instagram post recently that the founder of Arizona goes to the factory every Saturday to try all the new flavors. So that's what I was thinking about going Saturday.
Oh, smart.
And he's this old school dude. He's 6'7". He's like this old school dude from Brooklyn that used to deliver alcohol in the 70s and 80s to all the bodegas. And then the 90s he hopped on because Snapple was the OG iced tea. Then in the 90s he hopped onto it. He was like, oh, what's something refreshing? Let me create Arizona. That's I wanted something people think of something like a desert and fitness. And so that's where the name Arizona came from. And his wife's an artist, and the wife made all the art.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude,
yeah.
Bro, you have to share this. You know too much. You got to flex this.
Yeah. And they're independent. They're owned by the they used to be have a partnership and stuff, but they're a $4 billion company.
Wow.
Arizona's $4 billion, and it's just owned by the family. It's owned by the dude and his two sons. And I know the two sons do they do NFT stuff. So they're around in crypto in NFT land. Yeah. I'm destined, dude. I just want to talk to them and say thank you. Thank you for this is an Arizona shirt, actually. This is from their website.
Oh.
Okay, I'm getting too off topic here. Is there anything else in Fraxland happening?
No.
That's
Quiet
it.
Week. Just stuff happening in chat and governance forums.
It's just all politics. Whether it's I think this is one takeaway. And actually, I'll plug my article in.
Oh, yeah, SubDAOs, yeah.
SubDAOs, yeah. So I finally got the proper input lately to write about SubDAOs. I think it started with Pragma, going to Pragma and hearing Kane talk about the experimentation he did with synthetics in 2019. And then that combined with hearing about looking into Maker's endgame proposal and their SubDAO plan more and talking to more people about it and what Rune has in mind. And I'm just okay, SubDAOs are going to become a thing. And the main conclusion I thought I came to was they're going to look a lot more like gaming guilds and protocols, especially with tokens. And these SubDAOs are going to have a mandate to help their parent protocol. So if there was a Flywheel SubDAO, I'd like to I remember at the Stable Center event, how should we SubDAO? We're basically we exist to serve serve the parent protocol Frax in marketing and education.
All right.
but
That's
like
how I've been introducing us.
yes,
So
yes.
I'm glad
So
we
like,
went this way.
yeah, and so, but on top of that, like, you know, it's like one thing to like keep asking for grants, but you know, that I've had people in the community like they want to see, like, for example, Flywheel be more sustainable and have other revenue streams, which we have had, but like there's no better like way to incentivize activity than like having a token. Like, for example, like I'm just using this like for if there was like a Flywheel sub DAO, like imagine if there was like a Flywheel sub DAO and like we go into like Parallel Prime and start playing that and you're like collecting like in-game assets and stuff, and then just like that would be fucking crazy. Like that would be so fucking cool. But like I could see like some Rune is talking about in Sakura DAO, like he just wants to collect like in-game assets. So like that's how I think he's thinking about it, and that's what like I think he wants to like turn like Sakura DAO into like they're gonna have all these like different sub DAOs of like these protocols that are just gonna be gaming guilds, and that's gonna be and like those activities are gonna basically subsidize like the core mission. And like, you know, at the same time, you're gonna have the parent protocol giving like funding, resources, support, whatever they need to like the
Isn't it
sub DAO.
like
And
33,000 or something, like
oh, dude, fucking $5 million, $5 million
Wow.
worth of maker tokens. Casual. I mean, that's what happens when you have like a benevolent monarch of a protocol. You can just do stuff like that.
Hey,
And so it's a really ambitious plan. But on the flip side, wait, were you gonna say, Sam?
yeah, you know what we need to make happen is a Sam Rune conversation here on Flywheel. I think our listeners would like it.
Yeah.
They can eat lunch together. They said they had sandwiches together. They can have more sandwiches together.
Yeah. No, like I think they both like really like they really like liked each other, I think.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, mutual respect between stablecoins. But what I was gonna say, the flip side of the sub DAOs is Curve. When like they had like they tried to get funding for their sub DAOs, and it was met with pushback. And I say it's like, you know, yeah, like they don't have like a rude like sheep herding everything, but it's just like what I wrote in the article is just like it's like what was the theme of like this week in Frax? It's like all politics, and like the proper stakeholders just like didn't agree with the proposal. They said it was like, oh, it was like too much. Like, where's this going? Oh, you should just like combine sub downs like this and that. And so like it seems like the game like wasn't fully played. But also at the same time, like talking to other people in the Curve community, it's like it's a bear market. Like you want to attract talent. Like you're gonna like need to do like these certain responsibilities. You're not going to like attract talent if you don't have like the proper funding to compensate them. And I think it's like, you know, it's funding is like politics is not a perfect science. Politics is more art than science. And so like it would be cool, like, you know, imagine if like these Curve sub DAOs had like if they had like a token with it, like, you know, or like a token, and then like they go out and like dude, like there's nobody better at like incentive like designs and games than people in the Curve ecosystem to go out and like play these fucking games in like Web3. Like they could like dominate all of them. They could be like the super gaming guild. And so like that's basically like my article, like the experimentation with sub DAO becoming like that's happening in this bear market, and that we're going to see like fruits of in the bull.
That's a really good point.
There's no Flywheel token, but there's just like those for example. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up.
You know, speaking about developer talent, SEAL Team Frax is hiring. They pay great rates, but you got to work your ass off, and the team expects you to essentially like go beast mode for how long you're working. So it's not an easy job, and it's not for everybody. But you know, Frax does pay well for it. So
yeah, I'll say this. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, if you think that you got what it takes to join the Frax team, Travis was posting about it this week. You can just reach out to him. They've got an email address that you can send your CV and probably have an application review for.
So yeah, the Frax team, they're looking for a senior Solidity dev and also senior front end dev. Working with Frax is unlike working with your typical company. You're basically joining a tight knit brotherhood, the SEAL Team 6 of devs. You guys, as someone that has worked with the Frax team before directly at previous companies, it's like literally ride or die brotherhood kind of stuff. It's extremely rewarding work, but at the same time requires extreme commitment and, you know, being down with the cause. So if you're up for, working for a team with as high of ambitions as Frax and as forward thinking as Frax, now is your opportunity.
Yeah. And if you have questions about that, go back and watch our interviews with Jack Cadre or with Drake.
Great
episodes.
Yeah.
So
And
we're going to have Drake on to come talk about his honeymoon at some point.
Honey, I got to take this.
Oh, man. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's this week in Frax, everyone.
It is.
Nice.
You want to take us out, Dave?
Sure thing. If you want to keep up with everything Frax, Flywheel, and everything in between, make sure you hit that bell button, you subscribe, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. Like us, hate us, we want to know. Give us a like. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at FlywheelDeFi, TikTok at FlywheelDeFi, join our Telegram at FlywheelDeFi. Get exclusive show notes on our FriendTech at FlywheelDeFi on FriendTech. You can subscribe to us, get all the latest newsletter updates, FlywheelDeFi.com. You can follow me on Twitter at DeFiDave22.
Follow me at 0xcapital_K.
And I'm at traders_insight.
And we will see you next week and every week because we're always here. Peace.